to the rest of the agenda, we now have a keynote speaker, Daniele Monteleone. He is an international tech entrepreneur, seed investor, and crypto specialist. Thank you.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, Your Highness. For me, it's an honor to be here in front of this so authoritative audience. And today we are this is an educational talk, so we are not advertising. It's more to learn what is the Web3, because everybody talks about this, but how does it work? How does it will impact our business, our lives? And is it working in the space in a multiplanetary structure? So this is what we are going to find out. I am Daniele Monteleone, and I am a pioneer into the blockchain. Just to be, for the people who doesn't know me, I was in the initial circle of the blockchain when Satoshi Nakamoto was already there. So in the very beginning, but I was not early only in the blockchain, but I started to make video games when I was 14 years old, and in the 80s I was making artificial intelligence programs when there were no libraries in deep learning and artificial intelligence yet. It was only everything made. And in 1995, I made my first unmanaged drone, an underwater drone. And then I started in the 90s to raise the web wave with managing the main websites of the biggest companies in Europe. And in 2000, year 2K, I started my first software as a service that was basically the online management system that today they're used to. But that was just my beginning, because in 2010, I joined the Bitcoin community. And then we started to change the finance and the economic system in the world. Me with other pioneers that today, they are not so frontmen, they are not so showing up, but it was a very amazing period. And since 2018, I am focusing mainly on the Web3. So today we can say that we live in the web age, because in the past we had eras, no, with the Iron Age, the Stone Age, and what is shaping the society today is the web. But as Tim Berners-Lee, he was concerned. He said, "I'm devastated. So why we need the Web3? Because there is already the Web 1 and now the Web 2. What went wrong? Why Tim Berners-Lee was so concerned? Probably because we have every month massive data breach of million, sometimes billion users exposed. And this is just the beginning of other crimes, because they become victims. And probably because few companies manage our data. So we don't own, we don't profit, we don't control. And these few companies even decide if we can access to our own profiles. And more than this, because these companies, these few entities, rule the digital world. Even better than that, because they control the the access, they are the legislator, they are the prosecution, they are the judge and the defense, and also the law enforcement. So they are replacing the entire justice systems in the digital world. And that's why we need to fix the protocol. How can we do this? Thanks to the blockchain. Because when Satoshi Nakamoto published the white paper of the Bitcoin, he said, this is a decentralized peer-to-peer cash system. Yes. So Bitcoin is a ledger, basically, a decentralized ledger. But to achieve this goal, he had to solve an impossible problem. The problem of the Byzantine generals. And this problem that was solved gave the opportunity to create additional technologies to decentralize process, not only a ledger. And that's why we are using this technology that the name is blockchain to decentralize the web. So in the Web 3, basically, just to make an example, like in the Web 2, you have a request of Uber. Now, from your location, there is a request in Silicon Valley that find a driver in your location that can drive you. With the Web 3, we have the direct request on the local broadcast, on the local network, that gets the nearest, the closest drivers, and they reply peer-to-peer to your request, giving their best rate, time of arrival, and etc. So, and your app will sign a digital contract with the driver. So in this way, there are no middlemen, there are no companies in the middle, there is nobody that profit. And this is the evolution of the web. So in the first, it was just client-server. It was one direction only. So it was used like a normal media, no? The TV, the newspapers, it was one way, the radio. In the Web 2, it becomes bidirectional. So the users, the content users, were also the content providers. So, and this became disruptive. So the web moved from million to billion users. And with the Web 3, we are assisting at the decentralization of the web. So there is not centralized factories that manage, that handle all this process, but there is a unlimited number of peer nodes that will handle this in the future. So there will not be data owners anymore. And I will not be very technical in this keynote speech, but I will just give a few highlights on this. So basically, in the Web 3, we will assist machine to navigate, to browse in behalf of us. So my washing machine will call a repair to a mechanic, someone, a plumber, to fix a problem. And once the problem is solved, my laundry machine will pay for it. Just to make an example, a funny example. And so we will assist to many interactions between human and machines. Is it working on the on a multiplanetary web? If there will be a web among different planets, it will be the Web 3. Because Web 3 is peer-to-peer, so don't have to make transaction to middleman, to middle services, no? Like we were saying, no? Just to go to Silicon Valley and back somewhere else. It's straight from peer to peer. So it's half of the connections needed. it performs very well in the proximity. So if from Mars somebody is asking a request, it will be solved on Mars priorly, and then to the other planets. So, and then it handles very well latency. So it doesn't go in timeout like the Web 2. Because if you send a message from Earth to Mars, it takes 10 minutes, not 10 seconds or 10 cents of seconds like is on the planet Earth. So the benefits of the Web 3 is that it's permissionless. Permissionless means that we don't need to ask the permission to improve the technology. I want to make an example. There was a game, a famous game, the CryptoKitties. Maybe it was the first NFT in the world. And the CryptoKitties was a kind of game because you could feed them, you could grow them. And another team in another place, they built another game that was the Crypto Dragons. And to feed the Crypto Dragons, you need to give them CryptoKitties, okay? And for doing this game, the Crypto Dragons team didn't have to ask the permission to the CryptoKitties developers to make it. They just did it. This is how technology can be improved without permission. So because the protocol is open, so everybody is allowed to make it better. Data ownership, you own your data because you own your private keys, which encrypts your information, and you selectively decide to who give this information. So privacy, transparency, and interoperability, you know, what we already said. So for this, we have many improvements that we will have into the Web 3. Like not having to the decentralized login, not having to register to any website. I have one only user that will suit for all my platforms. And also, my identity will be an NFT, and I can just sign it to prove that it's me. I don't need to put all my data again and again and again like we do today in in different websites. This is just to give an highlight. One last mention is how it works, because a website. This is just an example of a decentralized name system. The name of the website is translated to a logical address, not a physical address. So the logical address will look for the same block that is in the nearest physical address. So if I am on Mars, it will be get first the physical address that is in the same planet, in the same area, in the same zone. So this is to optimize the transactions and the speed of the services. And and more than this, in the Web3, we can handle assets. So not only data. So we can manage our money, we can manage our NFT, our properties, our assets together with our data. So this is the exponential growth that we were talking about. And we are just at the beginning of this curve. So basically, Web3 is is the next evolution. And as Abraham Lincoln said, the best way to predict the future is to create it. Thank you.